Welcome back to the channel. So in this week's video we will take a look at some of the best VS Code features that no one probably ever bothered to tell you. And how we are going to do this is by taking a look at this website that I found just a few days ago called VSCode.com. So if you are using Visual Studio Code and want to become more efficient with it and learn some tips and tricks, this video is for you. So without further ado, let's get to it. So as I said, we will take a look at this website, and the address is VSCode.com. And this website actually lists, I think it was 35 different tips and tricks for VS Code, and they have a YouTube video on each of these tips, so you can see how it works in action. So this is a very great resource on learning more about VS Code. So we are not going to go through each of these tips in this video. You can do that by yourself by visiting the website, but I just wanted to make this video to show you some of the favorite tips that I found from this website. And you can take a closer look on the other tips on your own. But let's start with the first one actually. So the force collapsible regions. So what this means is you can create regions in your code with this comment #region. So let's try it in action. I have my Visual Studio Code open, and let's open just some file over here. So let's say we wanted to make this code over here inside a region. So all we have to do is add comment and then #region, and then we can even give a description for this region like this, and we can end the region with adding the comment and #endRegion like this. So what this does now is that when we hover on the left hand side, we can see that we can actually collapse this section. So this is very handy if you want to make different regions for your code and that way be more organized and make the code easier to read and browse through. So the next one was the fifth one, the breadcrumbs. So the tip is that we can use the breadcrumbs feature in VS Code to quickly jump between folders, files, and even sections in code. Now let me show you how that works in action. So again, I'm in my VS Code, and we can see the breadcrumbs up here. And let's say I click the index.tsx file right here. It opens up a drop down and I can navigate to any other file inside this same folder by just clicking here, and I don't have to search them from the file explorer. And we can also go to other folders. So for example, I can open up the blog folder and go to the slug.tsx from there, and it opens up the file right here. So this is very handy if you want to navigate between the files and don't want to search them from the file explorer right here. The next one that really was cool, well, I gotta mention this, the Slack chat. I'm not gonna go into this, but the YouTube video is pretty describing. You should check it out. This is very cool feature, I think, also to have in VS Code. But yeah, we are not going to go into that right now. You can check it out on your own. But what we are going to take a look is the number 7, the soft undo. So with Command U, we can move the cursor back to its previous location. And as they say here, this is particularly useful when you need to move down in a long file to copy a variable or function name and then go back to your original position. Let's test it out. Let's say, for example, that I wanted to, right here, add some code, then I need to copy a variable name from down here, let's say the src text. So now what I can do is just hit the Command U, and it will jump to the previous location that the cursor was in. And now I can finish typing this line like this. And the next one is the JavaScript Scratchpad. And this is actually an extension called kuokka.js. And I'm not going to go into more detail in this video because I actually made a video about the kuokka.js JS extension some time ago, so I'm instead gonna link it up somewhere in the YouTube card or in the video description, so check it out from there. But I just want to say that the extension is very great and you can very fast test your JavaScript code with it, so I highly recommend checking it out. Next one for us is the number 14, moving the sidebar on the right. So as they explain it right here, the code we write is left aligned by default, so when the sidebar is on the left, expanding and collapsing it causes the jarring effect on moving the code in the viewport. So keeping the sidebar on the right ensures that the viewport always stays the same. So what this means is that when we have the file open right here, and if we collapse the sidebar, the code will move to the left, and if we expand it, it will move to the right. So it makes this jarring effect right here. But instead, if we move it to the right side, like this, now if we collapse it, it won't move the code. So it's much more pleasant to work with. And the next one is the number 17, yeah. So inline file and folder nesting. So we can actually create nested files and folder structures inline in the File Explorer. And let me show you how this works. So I'm here in my File Explorer, and let's say I wanted to create a new folder right here called About, and inside that I would like to place a file called index.tsx. So one way I could do it is by activating the Pages folder, clicking up here that I want to make a new folder. Then inside this folder I want to make a new file called index.tsx. So this is one way, but this is not the best way. So let me just delete this and let's add it again. So we can actually add it by going to the Pages folder, clicking Add New File, and then right here adding the relative path for the file. So about/index.tsx, hitting the enter, and with one command it creates the folder and the file inside of it. So this is much more faster and easier to do than clicking and creating multiple folders, especially if you have a deeper folder structure that you want to create. Okay, so those were some of my favorite tips on this website, and I highly recommend that you check this site out on your own and check out the tips and tricks over there. There is a bunch of good stuff in it. So I want to say thank you to Brooke Holland and Sarah Drasner for bringing us this website. Let me know in the comments what were your favorite tips on this website, and if there were some tips missing from the website, let me know about those too in the comments. And next, I think you should check out this video over here, and I'll see you over there.